Hi guys, welcome back to my channel For Your Heart and Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Today I wanted to talk to you about enjoying your season of life. So often we get caught up in the busyness of life and we forget to slow down and to prioritize what is truly important. For those of us raising children or are caregivers in some way, shape, or form, it's easy to be swallowed up in the day-to-day happenings of life. We're so busy sometimes we miss the little things, and as the seasons change, so will our lives, and we need to remember that, because as we can't relive yesterday, we can't relive our children's childhood. To help us enjoy your season of life, I try to keep a few things in mind. Practicing self-reflection. Like everyone else, I'm not perfect, and so practicing self-reflection on a regular basis is really important. It's how we improve on ourselves, it's how we improve as parents, as partners. Whatever it is that you're doing in life, it's important to stop and practice self-reflection so that you can continue to improve, continue to grow, and continue to be your best self. Another thing that's really important to keep in mind as we grow in areas of our life is to be present. Being present helps us to enjoy what we currently have. We live in a society where we're always looking for the next best thing. And by doing so, we often lose out on opportunities to be grateful for what we currently have. It's really easy to get swept up in what's happening next door. They always say the grass is greener on the other side. But by being swept up in what is happening with others, we often lose out on opportunities to be grateful for what we currently have. Being present is just an opportunity for us to be gracious and to express gratitude for what we currently have. Our seasons of life will change. There will be tough times, there will be easier times, but for whatever season we're currently in, there will always be opportunities for us to stop and express our gratitude. Part of enjoying the season of life that we're currently in involves walking in our purpose. We are all called to do different things. Some of us are called to be parents, some of us are called to be caregivers, some of us are called to be in any profession you can think of. Whatever it is you're called to do, be your best self in whatever it is that you're doing. So walking in your purpose means tapping into your skills, tapping into your strengths, and using those to benefit those around you. The last thing that draws me in as I think about enjoying the season of life that we're in is balancing your pours. For me, that means pouring into others, but also saving enough so that I can pour into myself. By balancing your pours, you're able to be your best self for others, but also you can be your best self for you. Today, I'm having a moment. I'm taking time to do some necessary restocking in our kitchen. I started by prepping some cheese so that my children could be a bit more independent in the kitchen. As you know, they are able to make easy meals on their own, but I help by keeping a few things on hand for them. Slicing cheese or grating the cheese so that they can fix themselves a meal is one way that I prep to help them be more independent in the kitchen. We are enjoying a bit of a spring break time right now, and so our schedules are looser and we're just being more spontaneous with what we're doing. But by restocking and keeping a few things on hand, we can do whatever we need to do seamlessly. I'm also working on a ginger ale. This is a Jamaican recipe, and if you're interested in learning how to make this, I will link something in the description box that is very similar to what I'm doing. This is made with ginger root, and to make this, I simply Wash very well ginger. I do not remove the skin because the potency is in the skin of the ginger. And so I wash the ginger very well. I chop it up and then I use my blender to blend it with a little bit of water. I'm going to run this through my blender a few times, and after doing so, I will strain it. I'm going to save the pulp because I can boil this and I can use this a second time. By boiling it, I will be able to extract the last bit of juices from the pulp and it will give me another batch of ginger beer. We call it ginger beer in Jamaica, but it's non-alcoholic and anyone can drink it without a problem. There is a fermentation process if you'd like to have this sit for longer periods. I am just making it quickly today, but if you would like to ferment it, you can use cream of tartar, or you can also include some cloves like I did today to enhance the flavors. But it's a very simple drink. It's very easy to make. Again, you start with ginger root, you wash it very well. You can scrub it with the vegetable scrubber. Remove all the debris, cut off any ends that are unsavory. Then you're going to chop it up, blend it in your blender, and then you're going to sweeten with whatever sweetener you prefer. You can use brown sugar, you can use granulated sugar, blue agave, even honey, whatever sweetener you prefer using. Now, with this ginger, I was able to make almost a half gallon of straight ginger juice. Now, I will not be drinking this directly. We have to dilute this because it's very potent. So I'm going to take my half-gallon jar and I'm going to divide that into 3 separate 1-gallon jars. I'm just showing you how I make it once today, but essentially whatever I get from my half-gallon jar, I will be able to use it 3 times. So I'll essentially make 3 gallons of ginger beer. Again, this is non-alcoholic. We feed it to our children all the time, and it's a very good drink for boosting your immune system. It's great to drink through the winter. It's great for the cold and flu season. It's just a wonderful immune boosting drink to have anytime. So here I am. I've strained off all of the juices from the ginger pulp and I'm pouring it into my half-gallon jar. Again, this will be used 3 separate times. You will see me pouring it into my 1-gallon jar and then I'm going to fill that with water, my sweetener, which in this case I used brown sugar, and I'll also put a bit of lemon juice as well into the mix. Now, I'm not measuring you guys, but I will include a recipe in the description box below if you are interested in making this. And this can be paired with pretty much anything. You can make carrot juice and include some ginger juice in it as well. You can make beet juice and include some ginger juice. Pretty much any juice you're making, you can also layer in some ginger for added immunity. Again, I'm just restocking a few things in the kitchen today. I'm just trying to make sure that whatever things we need on hand are readily available. We haven't made any Kamut Puffs in a while, so I thought I would make another batch today. It's very simple once again. It's Kamut Puffs, which are very similar to Rice Krispie Puffs. And to that, I'm going to add some marshmallows. I'm going to melt about a third of a stick of butter on the stove. Then I'll add the marshmallows and the vanilla extract. Once that is melted through, I will add the Kamut Puffs to that mix. I place it in a flat dish. Once it's cooled, I'll cut it into slices for my children to access easily. I like things like this because they're easy to put together, and again, it's one way that my children can continue to maintain their independence in the kitchen, and it takes 10 minutes to put together. Again, this is not going to win any awards for the healthiest meal, but it's something that's quick and easy, and it's something they have once in a while, so it works fine. Don't forget, once you have placed it in your dish, to laminate it. And to laminate means to take a piece of parchment paper, or if you want to use beeswax wrap, you can place it over the top of the dish, and you're going to use your palm to flatten it out, and that allows it to cool and come together in a consistent form. Next, I'm working on a cinnamon swirl star. I used my bread machine for this today, and I put my regular cinnamon roll recipe in the bread machine, and then once it was done, I cut that recipe in half, and I was able to use that to make two separate cinnamon stars. If you would like a recipe for cinnamon rolls, I will include that in the description box below. Again, visit my blog on wits.com. I will have lots of recipes posted for you there. Most of the recipes that I use on a weekly basis are on the blog, and if you head over there, you'll be able to download those recipes for free. This was my first time making the cinnamon star, so I was a bit nervous doing this, but after watching a few videos and reading up on how to do this, it worked out to be pretty simple. So I took my cinnamon roll recipe, like I said, I placed it in my bread machine, and then once it was done, I cut it in half. Each half was then cut into 4 smaller pieces, and I will roll those pieces out individually. On top of each layer, I'm going to place a generous layer of a butter, cinnamon, and sugar mix. Once I have that done properly, I'm going to cover each layer, and then I'm going to cut it into 16 triangles. Once I've cut it into 16 triangles, then I'm going to twirl 2 pieces together to form the arm of each star. I must say, this worked out really well, and I'm really glad I gave this a try. It's another way we can use a recipe that we've come to love. It's just another way to get those creative juices flowing in the kitchen. I like that the cinnamon mixture is evenly distributed across the entire star, and it doesn't taste as doughy as it would if you were to make cinnamon rolls. So while I love cinnamon rolls and they still have a place in our kitchen, I really like this new take on this cinnamon treat. I'm also thinking of trying this with different fillings. I'm sure we could probably use this with a chocolate filling, maybe a strawberry filling, possibly even a cheese filling. So it's something that we could play with. Since we already have a dough base that works really well, I'm thinking of trying this with other fillings as well. So to make the cinnamon butter mixture, I simply just took 1 stick of butter that was at room temperature. I added some cinnamon and some brown sugar. Again, guys, I don't measure but I will include a recipe in the description box if you're interested in trying this for yourself. I must say, I'm really excited with how this turned out. It worked really beautifully, and for the first time, like I said, I was a bit nervous to try it, but overall it worked out really well and tasted phenomenal. I really like how the braids came together, and I'm sure I will be trying this again. I will say too, this was so relaxing to do. I felt like I was in the zone and really tuned into this. This is your encouragement to go out, try something new, whether it's a new recipe or a new technique. There's nothing wrong with trying something new. Again, we're trying to embrace the season of life that we're in, and whatever you're going through, just know that it's okay to try something different. So like I said before, I divided my dough in two when I first started, and so I was able to make two separate stars. For our larger family of 5, this works out fine. If you would like to do only one star, you can half the recipe. So aside from making the cinnamon star today, I also made 2 loaves of bread just to restock our bread for the week. You guys, I'm so proud of myself for trying this. I really went out on a limb, and well, maybe not on a limb because I'm used to making cinnamon rolls, but I really wanted to try something different, and this turned out so well. I topped it with my regular simple glaze. You guys, you know I don't like to use a lot of dairy, but I used powdered sugar, a little bit of water, and created this simple glaze to go on top. I didn't use as much glaze as I would have if I had made cinnamon rolls, and I really like that because it's going to cut down on the amount of sugar that we're taking in. But it tasted amazing, just amazing. So go out there and give it a try. So guys, here is our completed spread for the day. I'm really proud of myself for going out there and trying something new with this cinnamon swirl star. It turned out so amazing, so go out and try something new. This day was a midweek restock. I just wanted to do a few things to keep this home stocked while we're enjoying a laxed schedule during spring break. I made 2 loaves of sandwich bread. I made some Kamut Puffs. I also made some cinnamon swirl stars, and I just prepped a bit of cheese so that my children would have access to that, as well as made some ginger beer. Again, it's a non-alcoholic drink, and it's a staple in Jamaican cuisine. If you're interested in any of these recipes, please feel free to check the description box below. There will be a link to my blog where you can get these recipes, and if the recipe is not my own, I will also include that in the description box as well. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It really fills me up and helps me to continue to bring you content like this for free. If you have questions, comments, please leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to see it. Thank you once again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.